What's up everyone, and welcome to my God of War Ragnarok walkthrough for all of the main quests in the game. This walkthrough not only offers tips for defeating challenging enemies and bosses, but I give you solutions to every puzzle and locations of all the collectibles within the quest. I also aim to cover most of the loot as well. This video is actually the final episode of this series. It's part 17 as I take you through the Realms at War quest. This is going to finish the game. There's actually no collectibles during this quest or anything like that, so this is just going to be a brief walkthrough of the final mission with some tips on the boss fights. If you do want more help with God of War Ragnarok, I do have more content down below in the video description, in playlists, and in the pinned comment covering all quests in God of War Ragnarok and all favors and more. To start the Realms at War quest, you're going to need to find yourself a Mystic Gateway. You'll have an opportunity here to do whatever you want, if there's any side favors you want to do or whatnot. But once ready, you're going to need to head to Midgard. So open up the Midgard map and fast travel to the Lake of the Nine Mystic Gateway. Upon reaching the Lake of Nine, you just want to grab the sled here and head back to Tyr's temple where we went for the hunting for Solace quest. So just head east and follow the crest marker all the way to the lift. Once you reach the lift, you'll see the crest marker, so just get off the sled and go and interact with the switch to go up. And once at the top, you're going to notice some tents. Everybody's getting ready for war. Just approach Freya and she's going to take you to your tent. After a short conversation with Freya, the Realms at War quest is going to start, and you're just going to need to interact with your tent to get some rest. When you interact with this, Sigrun is going to ask to spend the night with Murmur, and then you're going to head into a dream sequence. After the lengthy cutscene and the dream sequence, it's now going to be time to enter the temple and sound the Gjallarhorn. So let's head to the temple door and head inside. And before you proceed any further, you're going to want to speak to Lunda, who has prepared some new armor for you.
I got something you're going to want before you go to war.
To check out the armor, just press circle at the bench here and head over to armor. And the chest armor is called the Fatebreaker Shoulder Guard. You can see that it's free to craft if you want it. And you get Rage and Aftermath as the talent here. So after returning from Rage, get a brief buff to Strength, Defense, and Runic and Stagger Resistance. If we head over to the wrist armor, we have the Fatebreaker Wraps here. For one piece of this, it increases the rate at which rage is gained by 10%. Again, it is free to craft. And the waist armor is the Fatebreaker Belt. Two pieces of this increases the rate at which rage is gained by 20%. And again, it is free. This is entirely optional though, and it's absolutely fine to keep the armor that you've got on and you've been working on and upgraded. With that said, this is now a great opportunity to do any upgrades that you have. Make sure everything is done, all your skills are upgraded and whatnot before you continue. With all upgrades done and ready to go, you just want to head across the light bridge here and enter through this doorway. Inside the room, you just want to head to the quest marker and interact with it. You're going to sound the Gjallarhorn, and this will trigger a cutscene which will take you into Asgard. And once the cutscene is over, we are ready to complete this final quest of God of War Ragnarok. Unlike other quests, there's no hacked silver to collect, no collectibles to collect, no red coffins or anything like that. This is very much just proceed, defeat enemies, and go all the way to the final boss encounters. So we'll keep this brief and just let you know how to do that along the way. There will be some difficult fights, of course. If you are struggling at all, just lower the difficulty to get through them. But the most difficult part comes at the end in the final boss encounters. Now, to kick this off, you discovered that the biggest threat at the minute is the war machines, and we need to go and take care of them. So we're just going to drop down here and proceed forward. You'll head into your first enemy encounter. Just keep heading forward, dealing with all the enemies and watching all the cool little cutscenes. Truly is a great mission, and you'll eventually get to this ogre. This is the first kind of difficult enemy that you're going to come across. We've fought ogres before, this shouldn't be too difficult. As well as the ogre in this area, there would have been like a guard as well. There'd have been other enemies. The war machines are going to be firing at you. It truly is the first difficult encounter on this quest there, but you'll be okay. Just make sure you're dodging the attacks and you're dodging the Bifrost, because that can cause real big issues. But a lot of health drops will drop as you kill the enemies. Once everything is clear, you're just going to use your Blades of Chaos on this wall here to continue. keep pushing forward, taking care of all the other enemies on the way, and you'll eventually reach this cutscene. After the cutscene, Freya is going to leave you just with Atreus. Just continue on the path, taking out more enemies along the way. As you drop down, you will fight a Gulliper. It'll be the same as the one that you fought in the summoning quest where it has a Bifrost shield. Make sure you use sigil arrows to get rid of that shield to be able to kill it. And there's going to be this dragon at the end of that fight up here on this pillar. Just get your spear out. You'll notice the weak spot there. Throw your spear into it and destroy it. And with the pillar destroyed, the dragon's going to get ate by the wolf, which will then disappear through the hell tear. This will now also create a path to move forward. Just keep moving forward, taking out more enemies. As you keep going along the path, taking out enemies, Sindri is going to group up with you and Atreus, and he's here to help you with the war machines. As you get to them, there'll be a short little cutscene. After the lengthy and touching cutscene, you're now going to be in control of Atreus, and it's just more of the same. Just follow the path with Sindri and take out more enemies as you go. After transforming into a bear with Atreus, you're going to eventually come to this cutscene with Trude. After convincing Trude to be on your side, you're just going to have to mash R2 to break down this door. With the wall broken down, you'll regain control of Kratos, and you're just going to push forward now, fighting more swarms of enemies before a big boss fight. And that boss fight is going to be another fight with Thor, just like at the start of the game. Just before the fight, though, you'll just come to this ledge here, and you'll look over it just to reflect on what is happening. Take it in. Once ready, just climb up the ledge behind you, and you'll enter a cutscene. This boss fight against Thor is very similar to the first encounter that you had with him. He's going to have some unblockable attacks. He'll have blockable attacks, and it is just about blocking his attacks, parrying the blockable ones, and doing as much damage as you can. This is a 3-phase fight, and in the first phase of this fight, some of the attacks that he has is a hammer toss variation, which is unblockable. When he winds up his arm, just dodge out the way by double tapping X. If you stand close to Thor, you'll notice that thunderclap shockwave that he does. Just be careful of that as you do get close. If you notice him going in for it, just barrel roll out of the way. There'll be that lightning strike attack as well, so you just got to dodge the red on the floor when he does that. There'll also be a charge attack. You'll notice a red circle on Thor. When you do see that, just keep barrel rolling, because it could be one of his charge attacks where he's going to come in and it is unblockable. There'll be a punch slam combo as well. If you get close to Thor, he'll just try and get quite a lot of punches on at you. You can just block them, and if you parry, he'll give you an opportunity to do some good damage. And he'll have a hammer toss attack as well. Just dodge all of these attacks and inflict as much damage as you can on Thor. Your best option here is the spear or the axe. Once you do get 3 bars of his health gone, there will be a quick time event, so just look out for that also. After the quick time event, you're going to enter the second phase of this boss fight. That'll also serve as a checkpoint. So if you do die at this point, you know you'll just continue from here. And it's much more the same in the second phase, but he will introduce 3 more attacks. There's a charge shockwave attack. If timed right, you'll be able to double press L1 to basically parry this attack and do some good damage. There'll be another lightning strike attack and a teleporting attack as well. But again, this is just more of the same. Just dodge the attacks and cause damage. There's going to be another quick time event as soon as you deplete 3 more bars of Thor's health. After that quick time event, you will enter phase 3 and the final phase of the Thor boss fight. He's going to be much more aggressive, but is pretty much exactly the same as the previous 2 phases, just he's a lot quicker. So just adjust yourself to that. Keep on whistling down Thor's health bar, and at the very end, you'll get an R3 interaction to finish the fight and enter a cutscene. The cutscene will also act as another quick time event. It is at this point the Thor boss fight is over, and you're now about to enter the final boss fight of the game.
If you try to hurt her...
With Thor dead and Trude flying miles away, you now enter the Odin boss fight. And this is kind of like 2 boss fights in one. You're going to have to defeat Odin 1 time before a cutscene, and you'll be going against him again. And each of the fights has 2 phases. So for this first phase, it's just about, again as always, dodging the attacks from Odin and doing damage to deplete his health bar. Odin's going to have a range of attacks, and a lot of them are Bifrost attacks, which can cause a lot of damage. So really do focus on dodging these, cause as much damage as you can in between. And the attacks that he's got is a 3-combo strike. He has a Bifrost charge and a Frost beam attack. There's a Bifrost slam attack, a Bifrost spell attack. And to be honest with you, they're not too difficult to dodge. Barrel roll is your friend here, and just keep distance when he is performing the unblockable attacks. You just want to keep on dodging attacks and doing damage to Odin until you take down 3 bars of his health. At this point, Odin's going to hit Kratos with an unavoidable attack. After that unavoidable attack, the area is going to be split into 3. Odin's just going to be doing the same attacks to you, though. It's still the same strategy. It's going to be dodging these attacks, and it's going to be doing damage to Odin when you can. One of his new attacks, though, is an attack where he's going to fill the whole of one of these areas with Bifrost. When he does this, the whole ground will go purple. Make sure you split off to another area. You've got 3 to choose from. And just dodge that attack, or otherwise it will cause a lot of damage. And with that, it's now just a case of dodging all these attacks and depleting Odin's health bar all the way to reach a cutscene. At the end of this phase, there'll be an R3 prompt to finish it. After the cutscene, you're going to make Odin real mad. And this is now going to be the second part of this boss fight. Again, it's 2 phases. And for the first phase, he is going to introduce some new attacks. Nothing more difficult than the first phase of this boss fight, really. Apart from you're going to have these orbs that Odin will send at you. Thankfully, you've now got Freya with you. You've got Atreus as well. When he does spawn in the wisps and the orbs, you can just use Freya and Atreus to take them down with Square. So for the first phase of this part of the fight, it is just going to be dodging the attacks and doing damage to Odin again. The orbs and the ravens will be notable new attacks that Odin does. The orbs are easily dodged. They're very slow moving. You can, as I said, use Square with sigil arrows on them to make them explode. That'll make them a little bit easier. And also these ravens, to dodge them, just hold L1. If the ravens get a hold of you, you got to mash circle to get out. So just dodge these new attacks, do damage to Odin until you can get him down to half of his health bar. At halfway on his health bar, there'll be an R3 interaction. That'll trigger a short cutscene. It'll be a checkpoint for you and the final part of this boss fight. He will introduce some new attacks again, like this one here, where there's red on the ground that you gotta dodge. But it's pretty much more of the same apart from his shield. You'll notice that right now Odin has a blue shield on him. This means that I can only break that with my Blades of Chaos. So make sure you equip them to break this shield to keep on doing damage to him. With the shield gone, you can use any weapon on him to keep doing damage. And if he has a red shield, this means that you've got to use the axe to break this one. So just equip the axe to get rid of the red shield. Once his health is all the way depleted, there'll be one final R3 interaction to start a quick time event. This quick time event will end the boss fight and the final boss fight of the game. There'll be one final cutscene here to finish it. If at any point the Thor boss fight or Odin boss fight is too hard, drop it down to difficulty. They're very easy to do on the easiest difficulties.
This was never about the realms.
After the cutscene, you're going to wake up as Atreus, and your final task here is to go and find your father, Kratos. Along the way, there's going to be some optional conversations. Just follow the path, and the first optional conversation is going to be with Sif and Thrud.
Isn't Loki.
Further along the path, you'll bump into Skolder for an optional conversation. And not too far ahead, you're going to bump into Lunda, Bigvert, and Skull. Shortly after that, you'll have a conversation with Freya. Straight away after Freya, there's a conversation with Murmur and Hildisvini. And then just continue forward until you find Angrboda and you enter a cutscene. After the cutscene, you're going to be playing as Kratos again, and you're just going to follow Angrboda up the mountain, where she's going to reveal one final shrine to you. Once reaching the shrine, you're going to enter another cutscene. Following the cutscene as Kratos, you're now going to be walking down the mountain with Murmur and Freya, and the credits are going to roll, bringing an end to this fantastic journey and game, and the end to this video. There's so much more to do on this game now. There's still like an open world for you to go and finish off all your favors. New favors are added at this point, and there's so much more to do in terms of collectibles as well to get 100% game completion. I cover all of this down below in the video description. There's guides to playlists, there's some links in the pinned comments as well. If you need any help whatsoever in getting your 100% game completion, do go and check them out. But I've enjoyed this journey. I hope you have. If you've watched these videos, please remember to hit like, share and subscribe to support, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this. Stay safe and peace out.